Okay, so have you ever looked out of a plane window, right?
Yeah, at the coastline, maybe? Like that jagged edge.
Exactly, that jagged coastline. Could something like that, seemingly random, could it actually hold a secret?
A secret to what, predicting billion-dollar market movements? Is that where we're going?
That's the idea we're digging into today. Welcome to this deep dive. We're looking at how, well, ancient math patterns,
Mhm.
fractals, might just be revolutionizing financial trading.
Yeah, it's fascinating taking these patterns, the ones you see in nature where things look similar close up or far away.
Self-similarity, right?
Exactly. And applying that concept to market movements, trying to spot the big shifts that the usual financial models tend to miss.
And what really grabs me is who this company is targeting. This isn't about, your average Joe investor.
No, definitely not. They're aiming high. Think family offices, the ones managing huge amounts of money,
Billions.
billions, and AI firms, high-frequency trading shops, the really sophisticated players.
Right. So the big question for us today is, what makes their specific approach, this mix of fractals and AI, so different? Why do they think it's potentially, disruptive?
Let's unpack that, starting with the basics. Fractal patterns.
Okay, back to the coastline.
Right. Think about it from space. It looks jagged. From a plane, still jagged, just more detail. Stand on the beach.
Still jagged, same kind of complexity at different scales.
That's the essence of it, a pattern repeating itself no matter how closely you look. And this company, Fractal AI Technologies, their whole premise is that similar patterns hide within market price swings.
And they claim their AI is pretty good at finding them.
Well, yeah, that's the bold part.
Yeah.
They're talking about like 90% accuracy in spotting these things, and they use terms like green call and red put lines.
So signals, basically,
Okay.
generated by this fractal analysis.
Pretty much. Green for a potential buy opportunity, red for a potential sell. That's the idea.
What I find really interesting is how they actually do this. They talk about tracking, what is it, equal numbers.
Yeah, equal numbers. The idea is like even when the market's going wild, these specific number patterns, they seem to stay stable or consistent somehow.
Stable.
Yeah.
Right. So finding a sort of steady rhythm in the market, chaos.
Kind of, yeah. They're looking for these moments where, say, a buy signal, a
Yeah.
specific fractal number, repeats itself very quickly.
Okay, like, give me an example.
So imagine their system flags a buy one fractal, then almost immediately it flags another buy one, or maybe a buy two, then another buy two.
Ah, it's the same number back to back.
Exactly, that equal repetition, as they put it. If it's a bifractal repeating, that actually becomes their signal to potentially sell.
Wait, sell. Why sell if it's repeating buy signals?
Because it suggests the upward move might be running out of steam, maybe hitting a peak. So the repeated buy is a warning for that upswing.
Huh, okay. Counterintuitive, but interesting. And I guess it works the other way, too.
Exactly. If they see a sell one followed quickly by another sell one, or sell two, then sell two.
That equal on the sell side.
Yeah, that signals that the downward trend might be bottoming out. So it becomes a potential buy opportunity.
Makes sense. Finding stability points through repetition.
And get this, they don't just look at one market in isolation.
Mm.
They use this 16-hour global tracking window.
16 hours, so they're constantly watching.
Constantly monitoring. They start when trading opens in New Zealand, follow it through Asia, Europe, all the way to the New York close.
Literally following the sun.
Right. Capturing these patterns as they potentially ripple across different markets and time zones, it's a pretty comprehensive approach.
Okay, who are the brains behind this? Because it sounds complex.
Well, their chief scientist has a really impressive CV. They were involved in designing Singapore's financial center.
Wow, okay. That's serious.
And they also received a scholarship from Lee Kuan Yew himself. So, there's definitely some serious experience and credibility there.
That background certainly adds weight,
Hmm.
and it perhaps explains their ambition.
Oh, the ambition is huge. They're talking about a long-term goal of averaging, get this, 66% annual returns
66% annually.
annually, and sustained over 33 years.
Okay, wow. That's
Wow.
astronomical in finance. That's the kind of number that makes you immediately skeptical. Right?
Absolutely. Extremely high targets. It definitely raises eyebrows.
And I suppose that ties into their vision for the AI itself. It can't just be a standard trading bot to aim for that.
No, they're thinking bigger. They talk about evolving their AI in stages, starting with something they call Brain AI.
Brain AI.
Yeah, and eventually aiming for artificial general intelligence, but one that's hyper-focused purely on trading and finance.
AGI for trading. It's a long way off, surely, but Very ambitious.
Extremely ambitious, which again brings us back to validation. What proof points do they offer? How do they back up this confidence?
Well, they do mention a few things. They talk about past
Right.
collaborations, pilot projects maybe,
Yeah.
with big banks, HSBC, UBS.
Okay, those are major names. That's not nothing.
Right. And they also secured a valuation, apparently $20 million, from Vertex Ventures.
Vertex, yeah, a known VC firm. So some serious people have put money behind this, or at least valued it highly. That suggests something is there, right?
It does suggest that some experienced players see potential, but
But the big but remains, doesn't it? If these magical fractal patterns exist and their AI is that good.
why hasn't some huge bank with, armies of quants and supercomputers already found this?
Exactly. What's their secret sauce? Why now?
It's the crucial question. And what one possible answer, I suppose, is maybe it's the combination. Maybe these patterns were always buried in the data.
Uh-huh.
But you needed this specific blend of deep fractal mathematics and the kind of advanced AI we only have relatively recently. Perhaps the tools just weren't sharp enough before.
That's plausible. It takes a specific lens, maybe, to see these particular patterns clearly.
And they also hint at something else, kind of hidden link.
Yeah, they suggest there might be connections between how currencies move and how stocks move,
Yeah.
connections that current models just don't capture properly.
Interesting. So their fractal approach might be picking up on these deeper cross-market relationships.
That seems to be part of their claim. And it underlines that they're not just tweaking existing AI models.
Right, you said they're building specialized systems.
Exactly. AI designed from the ground up specifically to hunt for these fractal signatures in financial data, not just applying, a general machine learning algorithm.
Which sounds computationally intensive
Uh,
and expensive.
no doubt. Which brings us back to needing that institutional backing, that $20 million valuation, those bank connections. It suggests they have the resources needed for this kind of heavy lifting.
Okay, so it fits together. But here's what I think is important for you, the listener. Even if, let's be realistic, even if they don't hit that wild 66% return target,
Which is, let's face it, a very high bar.
a very high bar, but the research itself, applying fractals and this kind of AI to markets, that could still be incredibly valuable, couldn't it? It could push our understanding forward.
Absolutely. That's a really key point. Win or lose on the trading front, the work itself could advance how we fundamentally think about market mechanics. There's value in just pushing the boundaries.
So maybe the takeaway isn't just about this one company. It's about this ongoing quest, right?
Yeah.
To find better ways to understand markets using ever more sophisticated tools.
Yeah. And it leaves you wondering.
Could the secrets to market prediction have been sort of hiding in plain sight all along in these natural repeating patterns?
It makes you think, doesn't it? Maybe we're only just now getting the technology sophisticated enough to actually read those patterns in the financial world.
So something to ponder. Could ancient math hold the key to future markets?
It's an intriguing thought. We hope this deep dive gave you some food for thought on these ideas and, their potential implications.